God's chosen ones, this message is not reaching you by chance. You've been guided here for a purpose, a divine appointment, orchestrated by the hand of God Himself. If you've been struggling financially, emotionally, or even spiritually, know that those days are now behind you. A new chapter is unfolding. One where the burden of provision no longer rests on your shoulders, but on God's. Yes, your days of striving are shifting into days of receiving. This is your season of divine provision. You are not just another person trying to make ends meet. You are God's chosen one, handpicked, set apart, and called into a life of purpose, abundance, and divine favor. The breakthrough you've been praying for is already on its way. Now take a deep breath and let that truth settle in your heart. From this moment forward, your financial struggles are not your weight to carry. Why? Because God has taken full responsibility for your prosperity. When He chooses you, He also equips you. And with that divine equipping comes a flow of supernatural provision that cannot be earned, only received. Imagine a well that never runs dry, no matter how much you draw from it. That's what God's provision is like. Endless, consistent, abundant. God's chosen ones, understand this: the wealth you are about to walk into is not a result of endless hustle or tireless labor. It's a result of walking in alignment with God's promises. These blessings are not random. They are divinely designed for you. This provision will reach every part of your life, your finances, your health, your peace of mind, your relationships. Divine abundance isn't about having more money. It's about having more of what matters most. And as you step into this, you'll notice something powerful, a shift in your spirit. The anxiety about tomorrow will begin to fade. The fear of not enough will loosen its grip. Because your confidence won't come from your bank balance, but from your trust in a faithful God. That's when the transformation becomes real. You'll walk differently. You'll speak differently. You'll make decisions from a place of boldness, not fear. Because when you know God is your provider, lack loses its power. The world may still measure success by effort and earnings. But for God's chosen ones, success flows from obedience and surrender. This isn't passivity. This is powerful, intentional trust. There will be moments when you're tempted to doubt, times when the breakthrough hasn't arrived yet, and the pressure creeps in. But remember, God's timing is always perfect. What looks delayed in the natural is often right on time in the spiritual. You may not see it yet, but behind the scenes, God is already aligning people, places, and resources in your favor. When the doors begin to open, and don't be surprised if they open faster and wider than you imagine. Because when God opens a door, no man can shut it. The opportunities, the connections, the resources, they will come to you with divine ease. And yes, some people may not understand your sudden elevation. They may question your success. Some may even criticize or mock it. But don't let their noise shake your foundation. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The evidence will speak for itself. Your life will become a living testimony of what happens when God's chosen ones trust Him completely. The transformation will be visible, the peace will be tangible, and the abundance will be undeniable. But with this blessing also comes responsibility. The wealth you receive is not just for you. It's to bless others, to uplift, to build, to heal. You are being positioned not just to prosper, but to pour. God's chosen ones are called not only to receive, but to release. To let the overflow from your life become the breakthrough for someone else. This is how God works, through us. Your obedience opens the channel. Your generosity keeps it flowing. So as you step into divine abundance, don't hold back. Share, serve, uplift. You'll find that the more you give, the more God trusts you with. This is a cycle of divine prosperity, sowing, reaping, blessing, and repeating. God's chosen ones understand this clearly. Your identity is not based on where you came from what you've lacked, or how long you've struggled. Your identity is rooted in what God has said about you. And He says you are chosen. He says you are blessed. He says you are favored. So don't wait for permission to walk in abundance. Don't apologize for the blessings headed your way. Don't hold back from embracing the fullness of what God has prepared. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. Walk boldly, declare boldly, live boldly, because the days of just surviving are over. You are entering a season of thriving, and it's all because of one truth: you are God's chosen one. God's chosen ones, your transformation is not just about what is happening on the outside. It's about what is shifting deep within your soul. You are stepping into a new dimension where peace replaces pressure and divine guidance takes the place of confusion. The financial challenges, emotional stress, and inner restlessness that once weighed you down are being lifted, not by your strength, but by God's unshakable promise to carry you. You are no longer responsible for chasing after wealth or success. Now it's about alignment. Alignment with His will, with His timing, and with His supernatural supply. As God's chosen one, your role is not to force doors open, but to recognize the ones He has already unlocked. Let go of the fear of not having enough. That fear is not yours to carry anymore. When you walk in divine provision, you understand that your abundance is rooted not in chance, but in covenant, a holy agreement between you and your Creator, where He takes full responsibility for meeting your needs, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. The path ahead may not always be visible, but you can be certain it is already prepared. The resources you need are not being withheld. They are being positioned. The people who are meant to support your journey are being aligned with you. The opportunities you've prayed for are being orchestrated in the background, and soon they will appear effortlessly. God's chosen ones. This is your season of supernatural ease. You're entering a time where your effort multiplies, where you no longer burn out trying to make things happen. Instead, things begin to move for you, divinely, perfectly, and in ways you could never have predicted. It's not just about financial gain. It's about becoming whole. Wealth, in the divine sense, is not limited to currency. It is fulfillment. It is wisdom. It is health. It is clarity. It is peace of mind. And you, God's chosen one, are walking into all of it. Your days of financial anxiety are over. Your days of overthinking, second-guessing, and settling for less than God's best, those days are behind you now. You're being elevated, quietly, powerfully. People will begin to notice something different about you, even if they can't explain it. They'll sense a calm in your spirit, a certainty in your decisions, and a lightness in your steps. That's what happens when divine confidence takes over. It's not arrogance, it's assurance. It's not self-promotion, it's spiritual alignment. You're not just going to receive more, you're going to become more. The person you're becoming is someone who walks boldly in their divine assignment. Someone who no longer seeks validation from the world because you know you're already approved by heaven. God's chosen ones. This transformation is not temporary. This is not a fleeting moment of good luck. This is a divine restructuring of your life's foundation. The things that used to shake you will no longer touch you. The financial situations that used to stress you will now become testimonies of how God made a way. The favor that's upon your life will open doors your resume never could. It will position you for blessings that exceed your education, your connections, and your experience. This is divine favor, and it follows God's chosen ones. From this point on, walk with boldness, not because everything is perfect, but because you trust the one who holds it all together. Your bank account may not reflect the fullness of the promise yet, but your spirit already knows it's on the way. Your eyes may not see the full vision yet, but your faith already sees it completed. You're not waiting for the blessing anymore. You are walking in it. Stay faithful, stay grounded, stay aligned, because everything you need is already seeking you. The promise still stands. The door is still open, and your season is not just coming, it has already begun. God's chosen ones, your time is now.